So you moved into a new apartment or house, Mazel Tov, congratulations. And now you want to know how to keep things kosher, how to start your kosher kitchen. So first of all, heads up, I'm not going to be showing in this video my actual kitchen and how it's done in a real kitchen, just going to be speaking. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, but I'll speak a bit about how to make an apartment kosher when you move in there after someone else. This is especially common for people living in Manhattan or other big cities where you're usually moving into someone else's apartment, you're renting, and the kitchen was used by someone who doesn't keep kosher or someone not Jewish, and you want to know how to start your kosher kitchen in Manhattan. So the first thing you want to do is make sure your sinks are kosher and the counter is kosher, so that's somewhat easy. So for that, you do the process that you're very familiar with for making your kitchen kosher for Passover. You boil a pot of boiling water, and then you spill it on every single spot on the sink, in the sink and on the counter. So you want that first outpour of hot boiling water to really hit every single spot. So you're pouring the water on every single spot on the counter and in the sink, and that's how you are making your counter and your sink kosher. If you have two sinks, then that's fantastic. You could have one for meat, one for dairy. If you don't have two sinks, that's fine too. Just make sure if you're planning on using it for dairy and milk, that you don't have dishes or even anything at the same time, which is from the opposite type. So don't have a dairy dish and a meat dish, or dairy dish or a parv, or anything that you don't want to become the other. Make sure you don't have that together in the sink, and also make sure that you have a rack at the bottom of the sink. They're very cheap on Amazon, easy to get, so you want to have a rack so that you can, when you're switching from dairy to meat or the other way, the dishes don't touch the same surface, so you can decide that without a rack it's dairy, and with a rack it's meat, or the other way around, and just make sure there's no sort of cross-contamination. Now the question is, what about the dishwasher? Can you make a dishwasher kosher? So for making a dishwasher kosher, also pretty easy. What you're going to do is you will need to get new racks, very cheap on Amazon also, maybe $20-$30. Check out a sample link in the description. And so you're going to get new racks, and then you're going to throw out the old racks and then operate the dishwasher twice, once with soap and once without soap. Now, it's important to note that with regard to both the dishwasher and the sink counter making kosher, you leave it unused for 24 hours beforehand, so it's what's called a noten tam lifgam. So you're leaving your sink and your counter and your dishwasher unused for 24 hours. Now, a counter, you can put stuff on it, but nothing that has any liquid. So you took care of the sink, the counter, and the dishwasher. Now comes the million-dollar question. The oven. What do you do with the oven? So if the oven is self-clean, that's the easiest. You just put the oven on self-clean, keep it on very, very, very hot for some time. Before you do that, make sure, again, it's not used for 24 hours, and make sure it's clean of anything that may be in it, and there's nothing on it. That's the easiest way. If you do not have a self-clean oven, so what you do is you make sure, again, to wait with it. Then you clean it very well with a oven cleaner. Just make sure when you do that to look at the warnings on the oven cleaner. Some of them are toxic, and you need to have the windows open or whatever it is, so just make sure you're careful. The Gemara says, Chamira sakanta me'isura. It's more severe to put yourself in danger than to put yourself in a situation of doing or eating something forbidden. So make sure you watch out for yourself there. Clean the oven with an oven cleaner, and then once it's been cleaned and sat for 24 hours, make sure you put it on the hottest possible heat for about an hour or two, so that really everything that's there is gone. and then you're good. You're good. Your oven is all kosher, and you need to use it for whatever you want. God bless you. That you're onto that. The stove. The stove, just make sure it's very, very clean. Turn the burners on very high, and make sure that the grates that are on the burners also get like hot. I don't know if everyone can make them red. That's ideal if you can get it so hot that they become red. But basically, you want to make sure they're clean, that they've been used on the hottest heat. Some people will even move them around a bit to make sure it all got the very, very hot heat. And also with those, you are good to go. That is it for this section on how to make your new kitchen kosher. Feel free to leave any questions or comments. There's going to be more links and information right down here in the description below. Thank you so much for listening, and mazel tov on the new apartment.